Hi, welcome or welcome back, depending on where you got here from. Blackboard site, welcome back. The welcome email that I sent to Navigate, welcome. This is English 2575 Technical Writing, and I'm Jackie Blaine, your instructor. I wanted to do this little short intro video just to show you the site and some of the tools we're going to be using. The one that's the overview about the whole course will be the second video that's on this announcements page. So this is our site. This is where you'll get to. This is obviously the link that you got to get here. Oh, by the way, I have seasonal allergies. If anybody has cures for them, I welcome any suggestions. So clearing throat, coughing, drinking tea, that's all I can do at this point, and I just wanted to let you know that. Anyway, this is the profile page. If you've just joined, you've had to click here first and then go over here to visit course site. So this is where we are. Right, this is our site, obviously. This announcements page, right now as I'm recording this, there are still sort of placeholders for the videos. But everything that happens, any announcements I want to give you, any updates, anything that's going on, they'll always appear here. And since this is the landing page, it's obvious that this is what you'll see first. I'll also put the same information on Slack under announcements, so it'll be in at least a couple of places for you. So a couple things on this page, I just want to let you know that the lecture videos that I'll be putting up, I'll put them on Perusal, which I'll talk about in a second. The cool thing about Perusal is you can halt the video at any point you want and leave a question for me and talk to each other and do all kinds of stuff. So if you're really confused about something in the lecture video, since we don't really have a set meeting time, although I hope we will have some optional course meetups, you can always leave questions on the Perusal videos. So that's part of it. And then, like I said, everything else is on here. So let me just show you the site first, and then I'll come back to the announcements page. The course info just says there's stuff here. Go to the submenus. That's what they all do. They just say go to the submenus. So this is the syllabus. There's a downloadable version. There's another version of it on Perusal that I'll talk about. It's part of the first week's assignments. But here it all is. I'm not even going to go through it much, but it does have our Zoom meeting link up. The textbook is all OER, which means it's open education resource, which means there's no copyright issues. And then this is sort of the tentative schedule. Okay, that's really all that's on this part of it. There's another version of the schedule right here. This may change. In fact, it probably will change as we go through this thing. And so it's better just to stay on top of it through the announcements page. Then the Zoom link is here. If people will agree to record the class meetups, the optional ones, I'll put the links to the recordings here as well. Okay, so that's just the room and the recordings. This is where most of the work happens, right here, this weekly coursework. This is a blog thing, so you don't have to worry about that so much. In fact, don't worry about it at all. But each one of these is our week. Now, I've got it weird because I've got we have this little half week here to do all this, some setup and try out posting and all that kind of stuff. I'm hoping to have, well, I am going to have one initial sort of Zoom setup informal meeting on the first, which is the first Tuesday. And so this will tell you everything you need to know for all the weeks. I don't want to get into them now because it's going to look a little complicated and freak you out. I've set off, one of the things we'll be doing in technical writing is writing an instruction manual. It's sort of its own separate assignment because everything else is a team project. So I've set it off here in its own section so you can get to it more easily. But this gives you all the information on a weekly basis. There'll be an overview video, which will go on Perusal as well, plus some written stuff, links, all kinds of things, whatever you need to get through the week. We do have a Google Drive. By the way, I hate Blackboard, and one of the things I hate about Blackboard is the assignment thing because it chews things up and it won't let me comment the way I want to. So right now I have folders set up for each team and for the instruction manual. And then these three right here are individual assignments. The rest of this is teamwork. So I'll show you where that is. These are there. But if you've never used Google Drive before, I don't know why, but It's easy to add stuff. You just click on your folder, then new, file upload, like a Google slide or a form or a new Google Doc or whatever you want to do with it. Right, so that's our Google Drive. My students really like it because they can comment on each other's work there, and I think as part of the team project, most groups I assume will probably be creating a Google Doc that they can work on collaboratively. That's sort of what it's there for. So that's why it's set up this way. Part of the reason it's set up this way. Now there are other resources under this resource tab. This is for us. This is our course. I have tutorial videos, how to create a post on OpenLab being the most important one this first half week, because it will show you how to post stuff onto OpenLab. If you've used OpenLab before, there used to be a thing called the Classic Editor. It's all switched. They now use what's called a block editor, which has a little bit of a learning curve, not much. Once you get that learning curve, you get up there, it's so much easier to use this than the old one. You can post, well, I'll show you. I'll show you very quickly. I have to get up here and go to the dashboard. Post. Do it that way. You get a post. You add titles, but it's so easy to add things like table. And the cool stuff is you can adding images is a piece of cake. You can add YouTubes directly onto this page. You can add links. Add Facebook page. Please don't. Music from Spotify, Vimeo videos. It's just any number, SlideShare, any number of things that you can use to create really good posts and can make it look really nice. You can create columns, all kinds of stuff. Okay, so that's why we're using Block Editor, and that's why, back to course resources. There's this video, which will walk you through how to create one. One of my students made this. This is supposed to be me, okay? I'm going, no, you're wrong. My hair's not that long, but there you go. And then this is a sort of a print version of this that you can use to help you figure out how to do this posting stuff. And there are also links to OpenLab help right here on the OpenLab for students, right there, right sidebar. Now this is Perusal. This is the second important thing you need to know how to do. I'm actually going to skip it and go down here to Slack first. Slack, if you've never done Slack before, as I said in the other video, it's like Discord, except as my friend the video game designer said, it's a little more professional because we know what Discord can devolve into, right? It's fun. It's mostly for gamers. That's where it started. So Slack is more the professional end of it. This is what this will show you what the separate sections on Slack are, what they do, and here's another thing on Slack that you can download. So the chat box. Slack is cool because you can, I'll show you, I'll take you over. This is our Slack workspace. They call them workspaces, and these are called channels, right? All these are channels. So when I post announcements, it's all going to be here. D. Blaine is me. I don't go by D. I go by Jackie, which is the short form of my middle name. But that's me. This is, you guys can put anything up here that you want. Random, silly stuff. My class last fall, one of my classes last fall, was always leaving the Mandalorian gifts on here, which I love. But, you can just put silly stuff on here. I made a channel for all the teams. I'll add more depending on how many teams we have, how many people. You can DM each other. Nobody else has to see it. The nice thing about Slack is nobody has to see your email account, and you don't have to share, and you're not sharing phone numbers at all. So it's it's a really kind of more private way to do this than sharing phone numbers with each other. And one of the cool things is on this, which you can't see because my little block is here, is you can add all kinds of stuff. You can add links. Right, you can bold the message. You can add links out to just about anything. There's a little emoji guy. You can add files. You can add each other if you want to, right? Shortcuts. So Slack has been really incredibly useful for my classes for the last year because I tend to monitor it from about 7 in the morning until about 10 at night, and I try to get back to people as quickly as I can. The spring was a nightmare because I had too many classes. Summer should be a little easier because I just have 2. And my students students who've had me before know that I respond very, very quickly. So that's why we're using Slack. So this is a little explanation of all the workspace, right? What everything does. My students DM each other all the time on this thing too, which is kind of cool. And then the other thing here is Perusal. And a Perusal is what we call an annotation tool, which means I upload things into Perusal and then you can comment on it. You know, you can highlight it and do stuff. It's easy to get to Perusal. You just do here and you click on login and it will say, it's not quite right, it just says register. So you create an account, and when you get your validation activation code or whatever it is, you come back and it'll say join course. I'm going to just go over here to Perusal. Enroll in course. And then you get then the course code, and the course code is over. Whoops, I just killed our slide. Okay, a little technical glitch, also known as Jackie closed the tab. I have ADD. You guys just have to put up with it. That's what happens. Anyway, on Perusal, the code to join the class is right here. Right. That's the course. That's the course code. That's not the right one, but it will be right when I get this. When I get this live for everybody. Okay. So Perusal is cool because then you can join the class. There are assignments, and this is the first assignment you're going to do is to come over to the syllabus. And this is the instructor thing, so it looks a little different than you guys will see, but it's pretty close. You just open it, and then it gives you the assignment over here, what's going on. And then if you want to make a comment, you highlight stuff, you highlight something, and these little boxes will open, okay, and you can make comments on there. You can, again, add a link, you can add videos, you can add images, you can add emojis. Okay, I've already got a few things like up here. Like when you see something highlighted, you click on it, like that one. I don't know why that number's there, you know, but there you go. And so I've got a few other things clicked on here on the syllabus. To see all of the conversations that are going on, you click this, and it'll be. I mean, these are all the comments and stuff I've put up here already. That's it. But there's other things you can do with it. The most important thing is right now for you guys is just reading and annotating. Because all the things that are in here are useful information for your team project. Again, Perusal is really cool, and I love it. So that's that. So if you want some more help on how to use Perusal, here's an example in action. So they've highlighted. People have left messages, left comments for each other. This is another video on how to create your account and how to use it, and then some written instructions for it. So those are the basic tools that are in course resources. There'll also be things like, there's other stuff in here right now. I think there's some links to APA. There'll be handouts. Will be double. They'll be both on the announcements page, and they'll also be here. So you can find handouts and stuff sort of all over the place. The other thing that's on resources is college resources. This is the things like advising, Learning Center is for math, which you probably know about already, student help desk, OpenLab help, all these things. Should be things on the library, which you'll be using for this class. And then the last thing under resources is just good old OpenLab help, right? You can just go directly to the help site. This is kind of a nice new thing, the OpenLab for students. Because it will show you how to do all kinds of stuff. Participating in course, you know, all that kind of thing. So it's an interesting, nice new feature. And it is also on our course resources site. So I'm going to go back to announcements really quickly. And that's pretty much it in terms of the course site itself. There's going to be a search, which you guys probably won't need very much because there's not going to be a lot of posts on OpenLab. Here's the help. The gradebook is in here. Now, in order to get the gradebook set up, you all have to post your introduction posts because I need your names and contact information to set up the gradebook. I'm also going to put a list of people who are members of the class here. I can't do it yet because nobody's joined. But that's that. So the next thing you need to do is just to come back right over here to the announcements page, and there's more to look at and more to read and some more instructions, and we'll get going on the coursework itself. Again, text message me on Slack or send me an email, and I will see you back on the announcements page.